Hi guys, welcome to the Player YouTube channel, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing one of my favourite days, which is interview day. Yes, we get to meet interesting people who have interesting jobs, and I think it might be a little bit of giveaway when you look behind me and notice where we are. We're at the legendary Ace Cafe here in London in the UK, and I'm about to meet a gentleman who loves his motorbikes, but that's not necessarily what he does for a living. Let's go and meet Paul Jenkins, who is over here with a fantastic bike, which you're going to totally love. Paul, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Coming all the way here today. I mean, we have picked a beautiful day, haven't we?
It's a cracking day.
It wasn't earlier on this morning, though, was it?
No, getting in here today is a bit wet, a bit slippery, but it's great to be here.
I'm surprised you managed to do it on the bike. Are you quite comfortable riding a bike in the wet?
Yes.
It doesn't bother you?
I've been driving now 30 years.
Wow.
And I just, as always, we all know, just take it slow and steady and a bit more spacing and just be a bit more aware.
Tell me, what is this? It's a Moto Guzzi? Is that how you pronounce
Moto
it?
Moto Guzzi, Italian, California special, 1400cc. It's a beauty.
1.4 litre.
1.4 litre, yeah.
So
not perfect for London traffic.
I was going to say,
outside London, it's great.
It's a big bike, isn't it?
It's a big bike. I think some people say you just sit back, have a cup of tea and just let it
I can see you on there, just sat back like that. I mean,
it's a lovely one.
Is it a heavy bike?
It's a heavy bike, 500 kilos. So if it goes over...
I was about to say the worst case scenario, God forbid, if it did go over, would you be able to pick it up? Would you need help?
I tried, I got knocked over, nudged once on a roundabout, and just someone went over, you then need help, try and get it back.
And is this your only bike? Or do
no, I have a scooter,
okay.
250 scooter for nipping in and out of London traffic. And this is the one I enjoy the most.
It's the one you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, a Moto Guzzi, what's the difference, say, between this and a Harley Davidson? To the novice, I'm an absolute
This is the
novice.
Italian version.
It's the Italian Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
There you go.
Harleys are a little bit American, maybe a little bit, I think, brash.
Yeah.
I think this has got a little bit more elegance and, Italian class.
It really is kind of beautiful in a way, isn't it? It's got some lovely style and these big, what do you call these panniers?
Yeah, the big panniers. This is the touring bike. Yes, there's not many of them in London.
Right.
Yeah, I've only seen one other.
And do you use it like to go on holiday or anything?
I go on day trips, but I use it also for commuting at weekends.
Oh, really?
I commute to and from work. I keep it in a garage around the back of my practice where I work.
It's been very, very difficult not trying to give away yet what you actually do, because you guys are going to love this, what he actually does. He's going to tell you in a minute. But another thing I know you love, because he's a bit of a guy, is Paul. You love a bit of fishing, don't you? You showed me one.
I love my fishing.
A big, what was it, a trevally?
Giant trevally.
Yeah,
so
I might grab that
fishing.
picture off you and put it up there now, guys, because this isn't just an ordinary fish. That's a fish. That's a big fish. It was 90 pounds?
90 pounds, giant trevally on the fly. It was a big fish.
And you fly fish for it?
Yes, you fly, strip fast, and then suddenly this explosion comes out of the water, takes it, and then all hell breaks loose.
And you're stood in the water up to your waist?
You're in the water, yeah.
That's a bit scary. What about sharks?
There's sharks swimming around, but...
But you're not worried?
No. The excitement of the chase, getting this big fish.
Yeah, I bet there is. It'd be like shark behind you.
And then you're hanging on with all your strength. Just trying to fight it.
90 pounds.
It's a good one.
How long did it take you to well, you can't land
30, 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's tough, isn't it?
It's absolute, all your strength. They're supposed to be the hardest fighting fish. So
amazing.
They put
Absolutely
such
amazing.
a fight. But
now, I know there's a little claim to fame that I found this really, he's going to probably laugh, and you guys are probably laugh. This guy bought a crater. Do you know what a crater is? You know when a meteorite hits the earth and it makes that big sort of, that's a crater, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. You bought one.
Yes, but it wasn't the sole reason. I wasn't just buying the crater for a crater's sake.
I know. I'm playing a little bit on it. Yeah. Tell me what's in this crater.
It's a vineyard. So it's a vineyard in southwest France, in Languedoc, about 30 miles from the coast. And it's called, perhaps unimaginatively, Domain of the Meteor.
Domain of the Meteor?
Domain du Meteor.
Couldn't have named it much easier, could you?
Well, it had been owned by the previous owners. They'd been having it for 30 years. Right. And then it's always been a dream to buy a vineyard.
Yeah.
And about 4 or 5 years ago, I broached tentatively with my wife, and she said, well, if you really want it, go for it.
Go for it.
So I spent a couple of years looking, and then I love that part of France, that southwest France, and the wines from there are particularly my favourite.
Right.
So I thought, finally I found this domain.
Lovely.
So it's a 10,000-year-old meteorite crater. It's about 200 metres wide, 80 metres deep. And our vines are in the base of it and then all around the perimeter. So they're cosmic vines.
Cosmic vines. Yeah. It's almost like we're going back to the 60s. Cosmic, man.
Yeah.
This wine will send you off your head.
It does. It's an amazing wine.
It is, I bet. I look forward to one day hopefully tasting it when we come out and actually film you in your crater.
That would be wonderful. Welcome. Yeah.
Right, let's now explain to people what you do for a living. Anyone guessed so far? No, you haven't. Of course you haven't. And this is what I love about doing these things, because I've given you so many sort of different tangents here. But if you haven't skipped forward to the end and checked what he actually does for a living, he's going to tell you now, because it is simply amazing. Explain to me a little bit about what you've set up and what you do. As I know I've experienced it, but I think you need to tell people what it's all about.
Well, my day job is a medic. So I'm a physician, and then I've always been interested since soon after qualifying in preventative health.
Preventative health.
Trying to stop, as a junior doctor, I always had to treat patients really with end stage or serious disease.
Yes.
And going round the wards and the ITU, you'd say, well, if we detected this at an earlier stage, they wouldn't be here. And so then about 15 to 18 years ago, I set up a company to do preventative health. I'm really utilising the advances in modern imaging.
Okay.
And that's what's revolutionised it.
Right.
Is the ability of CT scanners, MRI scanners, ultrasound scanners to see inside us with just incredible detail.
I know from, like I say, you know, I spent a day in your clinics being scanned, and you know, it was quite an ordeal for me. But I've got to say, the way I was treated and the way everything was done was just so super efficient and so just super personal. I felt like, you know, it was just me there, not in a big regular hospital where there's all noise going on and people shout, "Who's next?" It was very like, you know, it was wonderful, I've got to say. And I felt very at ease and very comfortable with everything that was done to me.
Well, that's very kind. I mean, that's exactly the image, or not the image, the ethos we want. Small, bespoke, high quality, utilising the very best scanners in the country, but actually in the world. I mean, there's no better. These are the most advanced scanners in the world, operated on by the top technicians. Yeah. So lots of people might buy a scanner, but it's a bit like an F1 car. You need the top driver to operate it.
You need someone to drive it,
So you need the best technicians, because that's not easy. And then you need the best doctors, the specialists to report the images. The top specialists. So we have specialists from about 7-8 different specialists. The top heart specialist will look at your heart images. The head of Queen Square will look at your brain images. The top chest specialist will look at the lungs. So every bit of the body is looked at by the top specialist. And then I can put it all together in the report and tell you, you know, exactly if there's anything wrong with you that needs tweaking, early stage disease that we need to intervene with, and occasionally, and sadly or positive, depending which way you look at it, an early cancer that we can then treat before it causes end stage, you know, nasty disease.
Yeah, I was a bit apprehensive when you invited me up, because I thought, you know, if you do find something, how am I going to react? So it was quite a big thing for me, especially given the fact that I'd already had a heart issue a few years previously. But at the same time, being a man over 50 years old, I almost felt it was my duty to my family to actually find out if there was anything wrong, and in a way to have it dealt with before it became any worse than what it would have been. But fortunately for me, when you told me a few days later when I came to meet you that everything was clear, I was a very happy man. And to be honest, I don't think you could put a price on that. You know, to have a day like that, to be scanned and treated the way I was treated, and then be given results and told you're good, it was just a wonderful feeling. So
I completely agree. I mean, you know, most of us have worked pretty hard. We've got to the stage of life where we've got a little bit of material comfort. We want to enjoy you know, the rest of our lives as active as possible, and as you say, for your family. And you know, ignoring it won't make any disease that might happen go away.
No, it's not going to go away. And the sooner you can, like you say, the sooner you can get onto it, the better.
And we put these things through an MOT, a service each year, to stop them, precisely because we don't want them to break down. Why take risks with your most valuable possession, your health, and leave it till something catastrophic happens.
So
when virtually always nowadays disease can be fixed at an early stage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The first day of students at medical school, I tell them prevention is better than cure.
Yeah,
and we all understand it.
Yeah.
Just sometimes it's difficult putting that into practice.
And trying to explain to people who are perhaps a little bit older and maybe a bit stayed in their ways.
Yeah.
This is something you need to look at.
You should look at it. Yes.
So, name of the company is Echelon Health.
Echelon Health.
What we're going to do, guys, we're going to put it up here now. Hang on. If I pull it in there like that, it's come up there. I'm going to leave it up there for a few minutes. They can get all the details from the website.
Absolutely. Yes.
Great.
Give us a call, have a chat about any concerns you have, and we can advise appropriately.
So, no matter what age you are, it's definitely worth doing. There's lovely people like Paul that work there and look after you, so there's nothing to be scared of. And at the end of the day, you end up with a clean bill of health, fingers crossed. So wonderful stuff. Thanks, Paul. I love talking to you about the fishing, the motorbikes, being here at the Ace Cafe. It's so sort of out of your ballpark and probably a little bit out of mine as well. Yeah. But it's been such a pleasure to see you again. Yeah. And I want to say again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for everything you've done for me. And guys, check it out. I'm sure you'll be very interested in everything Paul does. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Andy.
It's been a pleasure. Cheers, guys. Don't forget, you've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. Like, subscribe and comment. And if you do have any questions about anything Paul and I have been talking about, there's a comment box down below. Stick it in there and one of the team will get back to you as soon as possible. I'm not going to go on about the Player bookazine today. All I'm going to say is you know what to do. Go to www.theplayer, or www as I'm now calling it, theplayer.co.uk. You can subscribe there for nothing. It's completely free of charge. You've got a 220-page bookazine, which Paul's going to be featuring in the next issue as well, hopefully with some pictures of the crater. We'd like that. And it's yours for free. The online version, all you have to do is press register up the top. You know the score by now. I'll catch you next week with, again, something a bit different.